welcome to my recipe book with me, Tarika, where today I'm going to be making mashed potatoes. You know, I don't know anyone who doesn't like potatoes, and mashed potatoes in particular. But if you're someone who stayed away from eating mashed potatoes because of the oodles of butter in it, then you're going to love my recipe. I've got just 1 tablespoon of butter here that I've melted with 3 cloves of garlic that are just really finely minced. Don't let it brown, you just have to melt it and then quickly take it off the heat. I've got this pot of water heating here. I'm just going to add salt to it. And simultaneously what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to start peeling the potatoes to add them to this hot water. I'm going to boil these potatoes and then mash them up. I've got about 500 grams of potatoes, so you want to get the skin off completely. Then you just want to cut this up. And here's the trick, you know, actually once you cut them up, these potatoes will boil much faster. So I'm just going to add these chopped up potatoes to the hot water and just continue doing this till I get all of the potatoes in. Okay, so you'll know that the potatoes are done when you can just stick a knife through it and it just goes through completely and breaks very easily. So these potatoes are done. It's time to drain them out of this starchy water. So quickly get them into this bowl. So we're moving very quickly now, and while the potatoes are still hot, just quickly mash them. So while these are mashed, I'm going to add the garlic and the butter that we had melted earlier on. Add this. This is the chopped up parsley. I'm saving some for garnish. They're very classic French flavors, lots of garlic and parsley. And I've added the tablespoon of butter. If you're wondering what my cheat ingredient is going to be, it's some milk. This is what's going to give me that smooth consistency. Okay, now you want to add generous amounts of salt and pepper. So you can give it a taste right now to check the salt and pepper. It's still very hot. Could do with a bit more salt and some more pepper. Add some more milk. So I'm done mashing this and it's got a lovely silky texture that I just can't wait to plate up. But I'm going to have to be really quick because mashed potatoes are best served hot. Garnish it with the parsley that we had set aside. So guys, these mashed potatoes have all the flavor of butter without being loaded with it. You've just got to try this recipe. Also like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. See ya!
The recipe I'm going to do now is very close to my heart. I'm going to do perfect roast potatoes. Because you know, I used to work in Bristol in a country house hotel, and all the families used to come on Sunday for the Sunday roast. They used to just enjoy our potatoes. So this is what I've got, and I have literally boiled them only for 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that. Now, let's take a pan here. Now let's take lots of oil and then equal amount of butter. A very easy recipe to make as long as you follow the basics right. Once the butter is melted, I'm just going to drop in my semi-boiled or parboiled, as it is called, potatoes in them. These are baked later, but almost 50 to 60% of the cooking happens in the pan. So while this is heating up nicely, rosemary in here. Now I'm going to put in some salt. In fact, a lot of salt. Now is the time to add some cracked pepper. So let this still cook. I don't want the edges to be breaking up. And look, they've started coloring up now. I'm going to take a baking pan and drain these potatoes out here. The very humble potato. So this is done. Now what? Let's just spread these potatoes out here. They're nice and hot. Now I'm sprinkling some chopped garlic on it. There's another way of doing it. Like I put rosemary into it while cooking the potatoes. If you wish to put a whole bulb of garlic, just cut into two. You can leave in this fat and it will get the flavor. Or else you can chop it finely like this. Nice. And then, mind you, we have just infused rosemary flavor yet in the oil. So I'm just taking few leaves now here and chopping them up. Once it is finely chopped, nice. So a lot of pepper and some salt on this. Now I'm just going to add a few cherry tomatoes whole into this along with some olives. And now this a little on top. Spread them up nicely. And now let it roast in a really hot oven at around 200 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. So now it's been 10 minutes and I can see that the potatoes are cooked. Just look at that, nicely crisped up on all sides. There's one more secret ingredient that I have to add to it, and that is some honey. What honey does is it imparts a nice sweetish flavor to the potatoes, but at the same time, the best thing is it gives it a nice glaze. So let's mix it through once again. And now in a very hot oven at around 250 degrees for just 2 to 3 minutes for a little bit crisping. Wow, just look at that. Nice and still sizzling and a nice crispy color. You might feel that this is slightly looking more brown, but don't worry about it. This is because of the honey that we have added and because of the chopped garlic that we have added. But this is absolutely fantastic. So let's just quickly take this out now. An absorbent paper. We're just transferring it up to here. The last ingredient to give it a fresh look, which is chopped parsley. So parsley goes in. Let's just toss it up now. Wow, look at that. All the colors, all the flavors, the nice cherry tomatoes. So quickly into a bowl. Nice. Crisp on the outside and nice and soft inside. Superb. If I had a British mom, she would be really proud of me.
Hello my lords, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nick Saraf's Food Log. Today we're going to be making a baked potato stuffed with cream cheese and spring onions. So I've lined my baking tray with some aluminium foil and placed my potatoes on it. Now I'm going to prick them with a fork. This will help the oil and salt penetrate through the potato much easier on baking. And now we rub this with some salt and oil. And now we bake this for 90 minutes at 190 or 200 degrees, depending on the size of your potatoes. And now we'll leave this to cool for about 10 minutes before we go further. When the potatoes are cooled down, but not completely cooled down, we wipe off the excess salt and oil and carefully cut off some of the top. And then we scoop out the interior of the potato and put it in a different bowl. And we make a hollowed out potato. Repeat with the remaining potatoes. And now, with the hollowed out potatoes, we add some cream cheese and some salt and crushed black pepper and mix it up. Halfway through, we add some chopped spring onion and mix it further. Once the mixture is done, we stuff it into the hollow potatoes. And now we grate some cheese on top. And now we put these back on the oven tray, and in the oven they go at 200 degrees for about 5 minutes till the cheese melts on top. Let it cool down for 5 to 10 minutes and then it's ready to serve. So there you have it, baked potatoes stuffed with cream cheese and spring onions. Bon appetit!
Boiled potatoes already here. Take some oil, put it on my cleaver. Nice big chunks. They'll go in this bowl. A bit of salt, a bit of corn flour, a bit of the soy sauce. Toss them into this bowl. So I'll start adding them. The moment they're nice and brown and crisp, you can separate them off. Take them on an absorbent paper and look at the potatoes. They've all crisped up now very well. In the meanwhile, let's chop the spring onion leaves. That's nice. So just all into this. Potatoes, let's take them out. Look at the color. Back to the onion and the celery, which is so very important. And my magic, the Szechuan chutney is what I've got with me. So let's get on with it. Little bit of the oil, all of this nicely crushed into this. Bit of salt to get the flavors out, and this just needs to sweat. It doesn't really need to get golden brown or pink, the potatoes. So all of it in here. Let's toss it once. 2-3 tablespoons of the Szechuan sauce. So just a little bit sprinkling of the water here. Again, a very small bit of the corn flour. Mix it into a paste. Here it goes. Lovely. We'll add half of the spring onions into this. Crushed black pepper. A little bit of black sesame that adds on to the taste. And a little bit of white sesame as well. Look at the color. Just need to plate them up in the center. Spring onion, bit on top. Once again with the white sesame that is pre-toasted. The black sesame around. A spicy, crispy Szechuan potato. Total bliss.
Hello my lords, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nick Saraf's Food Log. Today I am feeling extremely lazy and I'm going to make a lazy man's meal today, a chicken leek and potato casserole. So the first thing we do is we put a saucepan, on medium to high heat and pour in a good amount of oil. When the oil heats up, we add in some chopped garlic and some chopped onion. Bring it together. We cook it till the onion is translucent. Now we add in some chopped carrots and some chopped celery. Cook it further. We add in some mushrooms, halved and quartered, and cook them through. Once the vegetables are cooked, we take it off the heat into a different bowl and leave them aside just for a while. Then we put the same saucepan back on the heat, medium to low this time. Don't bother if there's some vegetable left inside the bowl, that's absolutely fine. We'll just add flavor. To this, we will add about 2 tablespoons of butter and 2.5 tablespoons of flour. Once a roux is formed with the melted butter and the flour, and you can see bubbles in there, which means it's cooking, we add in a litre of cold milk to the hot roux. And continue whisking till the sauce thickens. Make sure the heat is not too high. When the sauce thickens, we take it off the heat and stir in the vegetable mixture. And of course, add a bit of salt and a bit of crushed black pepper. Stir everything together. When everything is combined, we keep the sauce aside and use it later. Now let us make some chicken and leek mixture that will go in the casserole. For this, I have a pan on medium to high heat, which will be covered in oil. Once the oil is heated up, we add some chopped leeks. To this I will add 3 diced chicken breasts. And we cook the chicken till it's no longer pink on the inside. And now we add in some apple cider vinegar, some Worcestershire sauce, a bit of mustard, some paprika, crushed chili peppercorn, dried rosemary, dried oregano, dried parsley, salt, and crushed black pepper. And we mix everything together. If cooked further, this in itself would make a good meal, but we're making a casserole. So, in goes a bit of butter and a generous tablespoon of flour. Cook to incorporate. Make sure you don't overcook the chicken because this is going to go back into the oven to cook. And now we take it off the heat and keep it aside. And now it's time to layer the casserole. For this I have a beautiful casserole dish. I'm going to line this dish with some melted butter. And now we put in our first layer at the base, thinly sliced potatoes. Here we go. Brush it with some melted butter. Now we ladle in some of our prepared sauce. Add in the chicken. Sprinkle on some grated cheddar cheese. And repeat the same process. And we end with a layer of potato slices. And top with some grated cheddar cheese. And now we put this in the oven for about 20 minutes at 200 degrees. When it's done, we keep it to cool for 10 minutes before we cut a piece. Now that 10 minutes are up and this has cooled down appropriately, let's dig into it. So there you have it, a chicken, potato and leek casserole that's as hearty as it can get. Bon appétit!